Officially called the Space Transportation System, the Space Shuttle program came to be 6 years after the end of the Apollo space program. The Space Shuttle program would last from 1981 to 2011. Goals of the program would be flying safely, meeting specific manifest changes necessary for a safe space shuttle, improve system and performance capability of the mission, improve the development and operation process of the space shuttle, and in short, develop an evolved shuttle concept that met the commitments and goals required for human access of space. In the program's 30-year lifespan, it would end up costing approximately $103.7 billion and achieve numerous accomplishments, such as successfully carrying people into orbit, creating a shuttle that could recover and repair satellites, compiling research through use of the shuttle, building the largest structure in space, but most importantly, giving humanity its first reusable spacecraft. Creating a reusable space shuttle would be significant in creating a more cost-effective way to explore space.
The Space Shuttle program's first successful launch was April 12, 1982, with the Columbia Space Shuttle. The first 4 missions were test flights to make sure the design of the shuttle was sound and the robotic arm it was equipped with would work, and the flight systems through phases of flight were stable. Finally, on April 12th, John Young and Robert Crippen launched and piloted Columbia into space and returned successfully 2 days later, a major success for the program. Columbia, in its lifespan, would deploy numerous satellites and operate several times as a lab. Columbia would survive and be operated until February 1st, 2003, when it would break upon re-entry, failing to complete with what would have been the 28th mission.
Challenger would be the second operational shuttle. Challenger's first flight would be on April 4th, 1983. Sally Ride would become the first U.S. woman in space, acting as a part of the Challenger crew. Marking a significant point in women's history, Challenger's missions would be the first to have crew members spacewalk using jetpacks, and be the first to pull a satellite out of orbit. The Challenger spacecraft would operate until January 28, 1986, when seals on the boosters of the engine failed and hot gas burned through the external tank, which would create a chain reaction that led to an explosion which broke the space shuttle and killed the 7 astronauts on board. This would be on Challenger's 10th mission.
In August of 1984, around the beginning of Challenger's career, Discovery would be launched. Discovery would fly more than any other space shuttle, completing 39 missions. Discovery would have a noteworthy career in which it would perform both return-to-flight missions after Challenger and Columbia mishap and deploy NASA's Hubble telescope. This would be significant to the history of astronomy because it would completely change how researchers and humanity as a whole could and would perceive the universe. In 2011, following the Space Shuttle's STS-130 mission, the shuttle would be the first space shuttle in the space program to be retired. After retirement, Discovery would be placed in a permanent display at the Smithsonian Museum.
After the Challenger's accident in 1986, it would be several years until the Space Shuttle program would send another new shuttle into space. This shuttle would end up being Endeavour. Endeavour would end up being the last space shuttle built and was meant to replace Challenger. The shuttle would launch May 1992. Endeavour's first mission would be so significant because on this mission, 3 spacewalking astronauts would make their effort to grab an orbiting satellite with their gloved hands and pull it into Endeavour's cargo bay so it could be repaired and relaunched from the shuttle. Endeavour would also be the first to repair the NASA Hubble telescope and make it capable of seeing further distances. Endeavour would be the second shuttle to be retired in 2011 after its 25th successful mission, which had delivered the Alpha Spectrometer 2.
During Endeavour's career, space shuttle Atlantis would be launched and in 1995 would dock at the Russian space station Mir. The shuttle would send probes to Jupiter and Venus and carry NASA's Destiny laboratory to the International Space Program. Columbia's disintegration over Texas upon re-entry, a mere 16 minutes before the scheduled landing, would foreshadow the end of space program. A year later, in 2004, Bush announced the space shuttles would be retired and the program's final flight would be with Endeavour on July 21st, 2011. That month, Endeavour would be retired, completing the program.
While the Space Shuttle program had its setbacks and a hefty price tag, the program ultimately made huge strides in the field of astronomy and made it possible to explore the universe more thoroughly and more cost-effectively, thanks to the fact that the spacecrafts were reusable.